Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and it is time for another Costco haul. Vegan Prepper. Vegan Prepper. First, let's get to the frozen stuff. We have two 4-pound bags of frozen broccoli. So there's 4 individual 1-pound bags of frozen broccoli in each of these. 3 of the 4-pound bags of organic riced cauliflower. So each of these is a full 16 ounces in here for $7.99 each, like each bag. I was actually about to stock up on riced cauliflower via Azure, but I realized it would save a couple of dollars to go with Costco. And so I was actually thinking, oh, I'll just get it from Azure. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to Costco anyway. I'm going to get it from Costco to try to be responsible, even though it's only a couple of dollars, to try to save it. Not knowing that actually I didn't know that these bags were a full 16 ounces. The ones on Azure are only 10 ounces. So this is actually way more than just a couple of dollars of savings because it's 4 16-ounce bags rather than 4 10-ounce bags. So I'm getting way more here than I would have gotten off of Azure. I also grabbed some of the Morningstar Farms vegan breakfast sausage patties, and we definitely don't purchase a lot of the fake meats, but just every now and then, I don't know, lately we've been craving breakfast sandwiches. There is a local restaurant that does really delicious vegan breakfast sandwiches, but they're about $8 each. And that is just not remotely reasonable. In general, I mean, maybe like every now and then to support a local small business, you might do that. But, you know, I don't know. I'd rather have this on hand so that we can make our own. I usually just make pancakes, and we use pancakes as the quote unquote bread and then put stuff in the middle. A lot of times just fried little tofu slices. If you slice tofu really thin and you press it just like between a kitchen towel, and then you fry it up in just a tiny bit of olive oil, you'll get something that tastes almost exactly like a fried egg. Really, it's hilarious. That was an accidental discovery, and it really does. And you can make yourself some delicious breakfast sandwiches, throw in some hash browns or whatever. But these will just sort of dial it up to 11. You know, these are going to be amazing. And we will enjoy these while we have them, but it's definitely not intended to be, you know, like a really common thing. And I will add in the cold items. So I went ahead and got another pack of tofu. This is really increased in price. But I'm planning on actually dehydrating at least half of this, if not all of it, today. I want to do that as a project, and I'll film that. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, you can wait for that video. And then a package of kombucha, which we already got into, of course, on our way home. We do love ourselves some kombucha. And so we went ahead and grabbed some of that. Also, we got ourselves the Power Greens, a couple things of Power Greens for smoothies, mainly for smoothies, but also just basically for adding into almost every meal that we eat. And that's all of the cold stuff. As a quick addition, I don't have enough room for that full box in my freezer, but I can tuck these bags in. And so I just cut the panel off that has the cooking instruction and all of the calories and everything, in case we want to keep track of that, but also for the instructions of how to cook them. I just cut the panel off of the box, and I'll put that with one of the bags so that we still have the instructions without having to put that entire box in a spot in the freezer. All right, a bag of veggie straws. It's a 25-ounce size. These hip peas, which are our favorite chips pretty much in the house, 18-ounce size. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like I have to try to explain and justify every time I buy chips for my family. But, you know, sometimes we get chips and we like them and it's fine. This was actually Sage's special request. She loves these. She calls them Colors chips. And then these are the favorite of my boys and I. What we also have going on now, not that I'm trying to justify it, but a lot of times we just make popcorn at home. That is my preference for a salty snack because it's a little bit more whole foods, even though we do put some oil in it. But Elliot, because of his braces, can't have popcorn. And so this is relatively recent. And so chips are beginning to come back into the house a little bit more frequently. It is not my favorite. Popcorn isn't only more whole foods, it's cheaper, but I like to have options for Elliot, but then of course everybody ends up eating them. So, we're just working through that. Probably once his braces come off, we'll be able to basically switch back to popcorn again. And then that works. I've got 3 more cases of tomato paste. I actually just did a whole video on tomato paste and why I'm so obsessed with it. So I usually buy only 2 at a time when I go to Costco, but I have increased to 3 just because I've heard about potential tomato shortages coming because of the droughts in California, and that's where these are grown. So it's just kind of keeping my ear to the ground and hearing what might be coming up. I am so close to hitting my 1-year supply of this. I'm like, at this point now, I'm only 6 away. Once I get 6 more, I will have a full 1-year supply of tomato paste, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm just going to kind of just up the ante a little bit. So hopefully in only 2 more trips to Costco, I will have a full year supply of my tomato paste, and then I don't have to necessarily buy 2 every single time I go. But yes, I'm working on building up a year supply of my tomato paste, and so that's what's going on here. But I like to do it just as a little at a time. I'm not clearing the shelf at all, just a little bit at a time. Our sparkling water, this is the one that we love. And so this is the one that we get. We don't do soda in the house. Well, except for I guess kombucha, but this is essentially our soda. We love it. Sage calls it sparkle water, and that's what she drinks. So anyway, she drinks too, like as a soda, that's what she has. And so, yeah, we just love it. This too, though, I'm beginning to operate with a little bit more of a prepper mindset because it was gone for a while. Actually, the tomato paste was even gone for a few months. I talked about it in an older video. But so I was really grateful that I had a stock already because we use it so much. It was kind of worrisome when it was gone. I would have probably already have my year supply if it didn't go away for a few months back there. But yeah, this even disappeared for quite a while. And this is the one that we like. There's another brand. I don't know how to pronounce it. LaCroix. I don't even know. But we don't like that one. This is the one that we like. And so I'm operating now on a replace the spare mindset with this as well. So I have another full case already here, but we just went through our extra. And so I replace the spare, if that makes sense, so that I always have some in the back. So we'll start working through the case that we have now, and then this will sit on the shelf. And then once we get through that case, I'll buy another one, hopefully, so that we always have it. We just love it. We love having a little sparkling drink in the evening. Our toilet paper, we actually operate on kind of a replace the spare philosophy as well. So only for this, we like to keep 2 as our reserve always. So as soon as we run out of that 3rd one, we get another one, and then we always have 2 kind of banked. And that is actually the entirety of our toilet paper supply. I maybe should increase it, but each one of these lasts us about a month. So theoretically 2 of these is about 2 months of toilet paper. So maybe I do need to increase it, but we're not like crazy toilet paper hoarders, but that does definitely keep us buffered so that we don't have to worry about it, at least immediately, if there are any issues. And I think that is a lot of what prepping is not just the stocking up for super long-term stuff. It's sort of preparing in normal kind of daily things. You always have a little extra just in case you can't get it. And obviously, we're not going to starve if we don't have our sparkling water. But this is just, it's a morale booster in our home. We love it. And that's just something that we like to keep on hand. Hopefully you got something out of that, even though it was a smaller haul than I typically will film. I just wanted to film this one because, well, for one, being honest about our chips, and then showing a little bit of my shifting mindset. I think a lot of us are kind of dealing with needing to pinch a few pennies here and there. And so especially like not eating out, trying to avoid eating out as much as possible. And so though we almost never purchase the like processed meat type things, in fact, I can't remember, I think it's been, I don't know, it's been months since we've purchased any and had any in our freezer, but because I want to avoid eating out, and so much of eating out is kind of getting those foods we don't normally have, I have purchased those sausage patties. And so, because I want to avoid that desire to go eat out, we could eat it here. But what I'm going to do is basically hide those in my deep freezer, and we only pull them out occasionally. They're not going to become a part of everyday breakfast, for instance. And so I'm the one that does the food. And so if I'm not, advertising or mentioning that we have it, for the most part, it won't get eaten. So it's kind of like, I don't mean to trick my family, but I think you understand what I'm saying. It's like, I want to save money, but I also don't want to make my family miserable. And I want us to still have those kind of fun morale boosters, little dopamine hit every now and then for like a breakfast sandwich or whatever. I think you guys know what I'm saying. So that's kind of, again, where the chips come in as a little morale booster thing, especially for my sweet son who can't have popcorn anymore, and bringing those in. And then, I don't know, I can't get a chip bag from Costco and then label it and be like, Elliot only, so anyway, that is sort of how sometimes situations shift. But again, I wanted to point out, like with the sparkling water and the toilet paper specifically, the whole replace the spare concept, that, even if you can't, like you think maybe I can't afford to stock, a huge amount of food. I actually began with this concept. In the prepping community, often they say 2 is 1 and 1 is none. The idea that you want to have, like you want to have a spare, you want to have at least 2 is 1. And so for me though, it was before I got into prepping, I started to say, replace the spare is what we would say in the house. And so I'd managed to eke out 2 of something. So I remember distinctly it began with dishwasher detergent. Because we would run out of dishwasher detergent and we were in such a bind financially. Sometimes it was really prohibitively expensive to try to purchase more dishwasher detergent. And so I got to the point where I was realizing if I could just manage to get 2 on hand instead of only 1, I could run out and then hopefully be able to purchase another one. But if something happened and I wasn't able to, I would still always have a spare on hand, or that was the goal. And even just making that small shift and trying to figure out, how can I pinch a penny? How can I, like, this was really hard for me this week when I had to purchase this thing, like a package of toilet paper, for instance. And so what if I tried to always make sure I had a little extra on hand? And so it's like starting a little bit at a time, like 1 week at a time, purchasing 2 of something rather than only 1, like where the budget allowed, and squeeze it somewhere else so that I could do that and create spares in my environment. So before I was before I knew what a prepper was or what prepping was, that was one of the ways that we got through some pretty hard financial times, because there would be times when we could not afford to buy another of this thing that we just ran out of, but because we had a spare, it wasn't that big of a deal. And so you just sort of buffer yourself and you build in cushions here and there. And it doesn't have to be a cushion that's this big or this dramatic. You can start with just a little cushion, and even that can be helpful. So I just wanted to share that concept. And then hopefully that helps you out and you can figure out how you might be able to implement that. But anyway, I guess just let me know down below in the comments anything that you think about anything that I bought or said. And I'm so glad that you joined me today. As always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. I wish you all the best. Oh my gosh. It's getting real out there, you guys. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.